Now that you guys have moved to Japan, what would you say are the pros and cons of actually living here?
I mean, I want to know from you guys, right? Because I mean, I've experienced Japan pretty much for half my life, so I know. Like, to me, the pros and cons are just very natural to me.
And I feel like most of the cons that me and God might have, you won't ever experience because one, you can speak the language and read it fluently.
Yeah,
and
I don't know, man.
There's some though.
I have the face of a foreigner.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of discrimination here. but
I mean, what country doesn't?
I would say I understand it more because growing up in an Asian country, there's definitely discrimination in Asia. It's just very different from what you see in the West, I think.
That's the thing. It's not racism. It's more xenophobia.
Yeah.
Right? And if you guys don't know the difference between that, racism is where it's like, oh, you're a different race to me.
Yeah.
So therefore you are worse than me. And xenophobia is like, oh, you're not from here.
Yeah.
Therefore you're...
I think it comes more from a place of ignorance.
It's just ignorance, I think.
Than anything, because it's just, because you guys didn't open the country for
I mean, Japan
ages.
has been a closed island for the past 2,000 years, right? So it's like, what do you expect?
Exactly. Yeah. So it makes sense to me. But for example, finding an apartment, that was my first experience with that, where if you're not Japanese and if you didn't speak Japanese, then they were very scared to even touch you, or even consider you, or in that case.
Especially when you have a company backing you. In my mind, I was like, I don't see what the problem is here. I'm like the model tenant here. I'm single. I don't do anything.
The problem is we can't write your name in kanji.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem.
Katakana name? Ew, gross.
But I mean, I have that problem too, because even though I am Japanese and I have a Japanese name, the fact that I don't look it is already a huge wall that regular Japanese people find a difficulty in getting over, because it's really funny as well, because during my intern days as well, I had to be the guy to if there was a business partner coming to the office, I had to be the one to get on the phone with them and being like, okay, we're gonna you guys are coming at this time and this day, okay, I'll come down to meet you guys and greet you up to the office. But when I speak Japanese, I don't have an accent. And my name is Japanese. So there were so many times where I would go down to greet them and they'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? It's you're not the person on the phone, right? And I was like, yeah, I am. And it's like, we thought you were Japanese. And I'm like, I am Japanese. And they're like, and it's just, to so many of the older generation especially, they just can't fathom that there are these things called hafus. It's just not a thing. It's you're either Japanese or you're not Japanese.
Because the way I treat it is that I treat it exactly the same how I would treat my grandmother or my granddad, who lived in Thailand in this small village their entire fucking life, knew nothing about the outside world. So they just didn't know, It's the same way with a lot of Japanese people, where some of them, especially older people, have never interacted with a foreigner or even got to know them, or even knows what the outside world is like beyond what they see on the news and what they see on TV. You know what I mean?
And you don't want to input anything from Japanese TV.
No, you don't.
My God, some of the stuff they air is
we're called Trash Taste Podcast. If there's anything trashier than Trash Taste Podcast, it is fucking Japanese TV. It is full of absolute garbage.
Yeah,
it's something I wish that a lot of YouTubers whose channel is focused all about Japan would speak about a little more, because it's not something you can ignore. If you're foreign or even look foreign and live here, you're gonna experience it totally. And I didn't know anything about this because no YouTubers talk about it or anything. And I feel it's such an important topic, especially when you talk about living in Japan. It's gonna be a factor. You're gonna be stared at, and it's not like you've said, it's not a place of hatred or anything. It's just they don't see those kind of people a lot.
I think the problem with a lot of J vloggers that do cover topics like that, because when you live here, you pretty much get to know every J vlogger.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
natural. It's such a small
Yeah.
community. So I know pretty much every like notable J vlogger here,
Yeah.
and there's been a number of them that I know that have made topics on like the blatant xenophobia here in
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I think a lot of those videos aren't taken seriously by the internet because it's seen as like a
foreigner
privileged
thing.
problem.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
It's like you get to live in Japan, you know, so therefore you should just be able to put up with this shit, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you get to experience all this other cool stuff when, you know, that's not the point of the video, right? Like
Yeah.
it's still a problem, regardless
Yeah.
of how
Yeah.
privileged you may seem living here.
Like, I think the worst thing that happened to me was one time we got the police called on us.
Oh yeah.
And
Do you want to explain why we got the police call? We didn't do anything illegal. We just played Mario Party really loud.
Yeah. At like 2 a.m. Very drunk.
That was our bad. You know,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't really complain about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically we got a noise complaint. So the policeman came and he basically asked Joey, you know, who is he with?
Yeah.
And I remember you saying like, oh, there's, you know, one American, one, you know, British person, and then there was me who I'm Thai. So he mentioned that I'm with a Thai friend. And as soon as he mentioned that he was with a Thai friend, the policeman was like, oh,
Can we see your Thai friend?
can we see your Thai friend? And I go up there and I start getting grilled about why I'm here. They want to see my passport and everything, and they're asking me about my visa.
But you show them your British passport.
And no, as soon as I was like, oh, I have a British passport though, they were like, okay, you're free to go.
It was so messed up.
And I was like, oh, what the fuck just happened? What was that?
It was so messed up. Like, and the fact that they like only called you
yeah.
up there, even though there was like it was like the most like cultural room in probably the entire apartment building.
I'm gonna say it now. I wasn't making the noise.
You were like the quietest one there, if anything. And it's just, that was the first time I like ever experienced that too. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like they can't
Yeah.
even be like subtle about it.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do know, like this is like not cool,
Yeah.
right? Like, but to them, it's just,
Yeah.
you know.
I think you just, I don't know. I know I get stared at a lot, which is weird for me because obviously coming from like the whitest place on earth, I was just like another like person, and I've never experienced this in my life.
Yeah.
Which I guess is also strange, and also like this is gonna sound so odd, but in Japan, not exactly known for the best like legal system, if you will.
Okay.
Normally, if you're like arrested or whatever, or convicted, charged with a crime, you normally get like, it's like a 99% conviction rate.
I don't know where this is going, but
Right. But also, like, this is the first time I've ever been like around police where I'm like, shit, please don't stop me. Please don't stop me. Like, I guess this is like Connor checking his white privilege for the first time ever. But like, because if the police stop me, right, I can't explain to them why I might, like, I don't know what I might do that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Right,
I don't want to get fucking arrested because, like, how do I get myself out of that hole?
right.
And yeah, it's just a weird experience for me that I've never felt before. And I'm sure people are like, wow, Connor, really seeing his white privilege for the first time ever in his life. But it's weird. It's weird though, right? Because that's like stuff that I never considered I'd have to like worry about ever.
Right. You have to like kind of experience